Welcome, football fans, to this NFL Week 17 previews and predictions on Tim Reynolds Show as I'm going over all the games for Saturday and Sunday. Please make sure you guys hit that like button as we kick it off here with the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the New England Patriots, and the Chargers come in as 4.5-point favorites as they are 9-6 on the season, and this offense will be without running back Gus Edwards, who's been ruled out of this game with an injury, but running back J.K. Dobbins has been activated from injured reserve and could play in this ball game for the Chargers, but the offense will have to look for quarterback Justin Herbert and wide receiver Ladd McConkey, the rookie, to continue their great connection throughout the season in order for them to have a chance in this one going up against a New England Patriots team that's had a rough season thus far. But the defense played very, very well, and as a team, they played well against the Buffalo Bills last week, and it looks like they have their franchise quarterback, as rookie quarterback Drake May has been playing very good ball for them. But in this game, Tim Reynolds Show is predicting that the Los Angeles Chargers will get the victory in this one to get their 10th win of the season and be able to continue their playoff push in the 2024 NFL season. Then next up, guys, on Saturday, we got the Denver Broncos at 9-6 taking on the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati, where we see they are a 3.5-point favorite in this matchup as the Denver Broncos are reeling, coming off of a loss against the Chargers, and they're now 9-6 fighting for their playoff lives, but they go up against a Cincinnati Bengals team that is hot on offense, as we see Joe Burrow has over 4,229 yards passing on the year with 39 touchdown passes, and his number one target, Jamar Chase, has over 1,500 receiving yards on the season, which is a new franchise record for a single season as he breaks his own single season receiving yardage record and also has 16 receiving touchdowns in this offense that also has Brown at running back, who has almost 1,000 yards rushing and 7 TDs on the season, as they go up against a Denver Broncos defense that's one of the best in the NFL this season, but they're coming off of a bad game against the Los Angeles Chargers, especially on offense after they got shut out in the second half against the Chargers. So in this game, Tim Reynolds Show is predicting that it will be a close one, but I'm rolling with the home team as I believe this Bengals offense will continue to stay hot and they get the victory right here on Tim Reynolds Show. That's my prediction. Next up, guys, we see the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Los Angeles Rams in the nightcap on Saturday night, as we see the Rams come into this one as a 6.5-point favorite at home against their division rival. Look for quarterback Matthew Stafford to continue to throw this ball around to wide receiver Cooper Kupp and wide receiver Puka Nacua, who is definitely looking good coming off of that knee injury, but running back Kyren Williams is the guy and the focal point for this Rams offense, as he has over 1,200 yards rushing on the season and 13 rushing TDs to help lead this offense that's making a playoff push as the Rams look to clinch the division against the Arizona Cardinals, who are coming off of a bad loss against the Carolina Panthers last week, and they've been knocked out of the playoffs. So Arizona doesn't have much to play for in this matchup, but look for quarterback Kyler Murray to get the ball to his tight end, Trey McBride, who has almost 1,000 yards receiving this season, but still has no touchdown passes, and this Arizona Cardinals offense can be dangerous, but the defense hasn't been playing very well this year, as Tim Reynolds Show is predicting that the Rams will get the victory in this matchup on Saturday night, as I believe this offense is too high-powered going up against a Cardinals defense that's just been subpar this season. Then, guys, next up to kick off our Sunday slate, you know we got to start with my Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Carolina Panthers, and the Bucs are looking for some home cooking coming off of a loss against the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday night in primetime, as we see Tampa Bay comes in as an 8-point favorite in this divisional matchup in the NFC South, and look for quarterback Baker Mayfield to get this offense going, as he has almost 4,000 yards passing on the season with 34 touchdown passes, but they got to keep the turnovers down, especially the interceptions and fumbles, as running back Rachaad White fumbled the ball on the last possession for the Buccaneers before they lost that game. But look for wide receiver Mike Evans to continue to try to push for 1,000 yards this season, as he's less than 200 yards away with 2 games remaining. But this Carolina Panthers team has been playing pretty tough for the last few weeks, especially on defense, but on offense, quarterback Bryce Young is looking like the franchise quarterback that the Carolina Panthers expected them to be. But the focal point in this offense has been running back Chuba Hubbard, who's had a resurgence for this offense, as he, at the running back position, he has almost 1,200 rushing yards on the season with 10 rushing touchdowns. Very impressive for the Carolina Panthers offense. But Tim Reynolds Show is rolling with the Tampa Bay Bay Buccaneers and the home team in this matchup, as I believe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will get back on track and get the win here in the NFC South Division. Then next up, guys, we see the Tennessee Titans at 3-12 traveling to take on the 3-12 Jacksonville Jaguars, and Tennessee comes in as a 1-point favorite in this matchup. And we also know that quarterback Mason Rudolph will make another start for this Tennessee offense, and we'll see what the Titans are able to do after scoring 30 points against the Indianapolis Colts last week. But the Jaguars are playing better football as of late, as we've seen rookie wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. have a standout season with over 1,000 yards receiving and 9 receiving touchdowns, as Tim Reynolds Show is predicting that the home team will be able to get the victory in here, as I'm rolling with the Jacksonville Jaguars on my prediction on Tim Reynolds Show. I just believe they'll have a little bit more firepower on that offense, so I'm rolling with the Jags in this one. Then next up, guys, we see the Miami Dolphins at 7-8 taking on the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland, as Miami comes into this matchup as a 6.5-point favorite in this game. So look for the Dolphins, who are fighting for their 2024 playoff lives, to get the victory in this one, as I believe they're going to have too much firepower. Even though this Cleveland Browns defense has been tough and stingy all year long, I think the offense has been the problem for Cleveland, as they are starting quarterback Darian Thompson Jr., the second-year quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, after he started last week for them. So it'll be really interesting to see how that goes, especially with them benching quarterback Jameis Winston, who is really getting this offense going for Cleveland. But now they go up against the Dolphins team that's fighting for their playoff lives, so I'm predicting that they get the victory in here to get to 8-8 on the season. Then next up, guys, we see the New York Jets traveling to take on the Buffalo Bills, and Buffalo comes in as a 9.5-point favorite in this matchup, as quarterback Josh Allen has over 3,500 yards passing on the season and 26 touchdown passes and only 6 interceptions. But he's also helping out in the run game throughout this NFL season for this Buffalo Bills team, as we've also seen running back James Cook have almost 1,000 yards rushing on the year for this team, and he's really helping this offense out with 14 rushing touchdowns on the season for him. That's got to be a lot as far as Buffalo Bills franchise records, right? But also Josh Allen's added over 500 yards rushing and 11 rushing touchdowns himself this year, which gives him on the season 37 total touchdowns. So hopefully the MVP candidate Josh Allen won't end up like he did last week, when we seen the New England Patriots come in and really take it to this Buffalo Bills team and not play well, even though they got the victory. But we also hear that quarterback Aaron Rodgers may not be ready to go in this game. So Tim Reynolds Show is rolling with the home team, as I'm predicting the Buffalo Bills will get the win in this game to get their 13th victory of the season. Then next up, guys, we see the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to take on the New Orleans Saints, and the Saints come in, or I should say the Las Vegas Raiders come in as a 1.5-point favorite in this matchup, and look for quarterback Aiden O'Connell to try to prove that he's the franchise quarterback for this Raiders offense, as he looks to get them going. But the Saints will have to do it without a bunch of guys who are injured right now, including quarterback Derek Carr and running back Alvin Kamara, who's expected to miss the rest of the season with the injuries that he's dealing with. And how about rookie tight end Brock Bowers for this Raiders team, as he's making NFL history with the numbers he's putting up at the tight end possession, especially for a rookie. So Tim Reynolds Show is rolling with the favorite, the Las Vegas Raiders, in this matchup, as I believe they'll be able to get the victory in Week 17. Then next up, guys, we see the Indianapolis Colts traveling to take on the New York Football Giants in New York, where Indianapolis is a 7.5-point favorite in this matchup. But we also hear that quarterback Anthony Richardson is questionable to play in this matchup, but with the way running back Jonathan Taylor's been playing as of late, especially after his 200-yard performance last week, look for this Colts offense to lean on him in the running game, and I'm predicting that the Colts will get the victory in this one, as they go up against a Giants team that's only got 2 wins on the year. They haven't been very good at all, especially on offense, but at home, they're 0-8 this season, so that's why I'm rolling with the Colts in this one. Then next up, guys, we got a divisional matchup where the Dallas Cowboys will travel to take on the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Eagles are a 7.5-point favorite in this matchup, but they'll have to play this game without their leader at the quarterback position, as quarterback Jalen Hurts is more than likely expected to miss this game as he's still dealing with concussion-like symptoms after going out in the first quarter last week due to a concussion. So now we see backup quarterback Kenny Pickett is in line to start for the Philadelphia Eagles in this game, so they'll definitely have to lean on running back Saquon Barkley, who has almost 1,900 rushing yards on the season and 13 rushing touchdowns. With 2 weeks remaining, he's trying to pass Eric Dickerson for the most rushing yards in a single season, but he's got a long way to go. But this Philadelphia Eagles offense is going to lean on him, as I'm predicting that the Philadelphia Eagles should be able to get the victory in this one as they go up against a Dallas team that got a big upset win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week, and Cooper Rush played one of his best games of his career. But this Dallas Cowboys offense goes up against a stingy Philadelphia Eagles defense that's one of the best in the league, and that's why I'm rolling with the Eagles in this matchup to get their 13th win of the year. Next, in a matchup with the NFC North, we see the Green Bay Packers at 11-4 traveling to take on the 13-2 Minnesota Vikings, as we see the Vikings come in as a 1.5-point favorite in this matchup with their offense on fire there in Minnesota, with quarterback Sam Darnold having his best season of his career with 32 touchdown passes, and we see all-pro wide receiver Justin Jefferson doing his thing as he approaches 1,400 yards receiving on the season and already has 10 receiving touchdowns. And look for running back Aaron Jones to look for some revenge against his former team, going up against a Green Bay Packers team that's got a tough defense and an offense that runs through running back Josh Jacobs, who has over 1,200 yards rushing on the season and 13 rushing touchdowns, as we see this Green Bay Packers team come in looking for some momentum and a big win against the Vikings on the road. But the Tim Reynolds Show is predicting that the Minnesota Vikings will get the victory in this matchup. I like what defensive coordinator Brian Flores is doing with this Minnesota Vikings defense, and I think that's definitely going to cause problems for quarterback Justin Love and the wide receiving core for the Green Bay Packers in this matchup. Then next up, guys, on Sunday Night Football in prime time, we will see the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Washington Commanders in Washington, as we see the Commanders come in as a 4.5-point favorite in this matchup, and look for rookie quarterback Michael Penix Jr. to get welcomed to the NFL really quickly, going up against this tough Washington Commanders defense that got the huge upset win over the Philadelphia Eagles last week. And this offense for the Commanders is ran through rookie quarterback Jalen Daniels, who's looking like the 2024 NFL Rookie of the Year. And we've also seen a resurgence from wide receiver Terry McLaurin, as he has over 1,000 yards receiving and 12 receiving touchdowns on the season, which is a new career high for him in a single season. And we see this offense for Washington looking to put out the lights on the Atlanta Falcons season. If they're able to win this one, it's really going to hamper the Falcons' chances at getting into the playoffs, as we see rookie quarterback Jalen Daniels not only leads the team in rushing with 737 yards and 6 rushing touchdowns, but also has 3,300 yards passing and 22 passing TDs, going up against an Atlanta Falcons defense that has not been very good this season. So Tim Reynolds Show is predicting that the Washington Commanders will get the victory in this matchup here on Sunday Night Football. Then next up here, guys, we see the Detroit Lions traveling to take on the San Francisco 49ers, with the 49ers already being eliminated from the playoffs last week. We see Detroit comes in as a 3.5-point favorite in this matchup, and guys, I'm rolling with Detroit. I'm just going to say it right now. Detroit is looking like one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL right now, and quarterback Jared Goff looks like an MVP candidate with over 4,000 yards passing, 33 passing touchdowns, and not to mention running back Gibbs is on fire since David Montgomery has been out with an injury. We see he has over 1,100 yards rushing on the year and 12 rushing touchdowns, also helping out in the passing game. And speaking of passing game, wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown has been balling out with over 100 catches this season and over 1,100 yards receiving with 11 touchdown receptions. So look for the Detroit Lions to get their 14th win of the season on Monday night in prime time to improve to 8-0 on the road and get the most wins in franchise history in a single season with their 14th victory. This has been your NFL Week 17 predictions and preview from Tim Reynolds Show. Thank you guys so much for hanging out here on the channel. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show on YouTube. Peace out, everybody, and enjoy NFL Week 17. And make sure you tune in on Tim Reynolds Show for my NFL Week 17 review that will be coming up next week. Thank you guys so much. Peace out.